Good afternoon. Welcome to our daily check-in day 4. And today we finalized design thinking as a theme. So tomorrow we'll be moving on to our new theme, computational thinking, which will give you a lot of new problem-solving skills. And computational thinking is a method we apply in computer programming, but it is not the only place where you apply it. So some of the examples you'll see tomorrow will be very far removed from the typical places where you'll find computer engineers or computer programmers. So I think it will be a lot of fun. We will also be playing a very fun board game called Codemaster. So I'm looking forward to playing that with you and having you do all of the exercises and learning a lot in the process about the 4 steps of computational thinking. Remember that you can ask your questions either on the live chat or on the WhatsApp group, and I will gladly answer them. And also remember that if your data is becoming limited, specifically to watch these videos on a daily basis, remember that I download them afterwards and I make them available on the eFundi page directly after the stream. And I will quickly show you where to look for it. So if you're on the eFundi web page, just scroll down to orientate yourself. And here you will see the first introduction video, and then every day's login or check-in videos for every day. So here you will see day 1, 2, and 3. And just after this stream, I will make the video for day 4 available there. And remember that eFundi is 0 rated. So if you watch the video there, you will not need data to do that. So we're really trying to ensure that there are no barriers to entry and that all of you can actually access the content. So please don't stop competing in this competition due to a lack of data. We're really making this as easy as possible for you. We received a question earlier today about how long it will take for you to get a feedback on your assignments or when you will be able to see your mark. Remember that if you submitted your assignments before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you will be able to see the results the next morning. But if you only submit it at night, then you will be only able to see it. It will only be marked the following evening. My assistants are working really hard to mark all of your assignments with me and to give you good feedback. So unfortunately, they need to sleep as well, and they also write exams and have vacation work that need to complete. So they're not doing this on a full-time basis. They're really helping me out. So if you submitted your assignments by 5 o'clock this afternoon, then you can expect that you will get your feedback tomorrow morning. Otherwise, if you only submitted this evening, then you can look for it on Friday morning. And I've received a number of requests for extension on the deadline for today. Remember that we mentioned that all of the due dates remain open and that you can still submit later on. And that a late submission will not disqualify you, but not submitting anything will disqualify you from winning at the end. So please complete all of the assignments and make sure that you submit them, even if you submit them late. And even though we're moving on to a new concept tomorrow, and we'll only spend one day on tomorrow's concept, you can still use the time that you have left to work on today's assignment if you didn't have time to complete it today. Okay, we have one question about will you be playing the board game live? No, unfortunately, because we need to restrict the use of data, we cannot play the board game live, but you will have instructions that I guide you with to play the board game on your own while the friendly site. So you will be able to see the instructions. There'll be a short video about how to do it, and then the puzzles that you need to solve will follow. You will then type in the answer to the puzzle, and it will automatically be marked if you are correct. So, or if you're wrong, but it will then show you what the right answer should be. So it will be slightly interactive that immediately after you submitting your answer, you'll know whether you are right or wrong. And that's why I said it will take you tomorrow, all of tomorrow to play that game. But yes, you will play it live and we'll discuss it afterwards. But unfortunately, we can't play it live on YouTube just because not everybody has access to data. Okay. Lewe asks, I said on the first day that there will be other opportunities for you to win except for using social media. Yes, I did indeed say so. And yeah, the prizes are also just like for social media. It is these awesome thinking socks that are not in your goodie bags. So I haven't thought of it. I think of opportunities as the inspiration hits. So I promise to think of an exciting way that someone can win a prize tomorrow. I was just so busy these first 4 days getting you all started that I completely forgot about that. So thank you, Lindy, for reminding me about that. And tomorrow, somewhere during the day, there will be an opportunity to win. So keep your eyes peeled on your phones. Yes, I see you meant not what was the prize, what will be the opportunities. As I mentioned, I will think of an opportunity or I will announce an opportunity for you to win something tomorrow. So give me the evening to think about it and I will announce it on your WhatsApp groups tomorrow what your opportunity is to win. While we're about speaking about opportunities, remember that you have an opportunity to join us for the Femgineering event. Annual Femgineering event is aimed at telling you all about engineering as a career, while the innovation competition uses some of the skills that engineers use. And while it is hosted by the NWU Faculty of Engineering, it is not strictly engineering related only. So if you are a high school girl interested in engineering and you would like to join us online between 9 and 13 August, then please remember to register for Femgineering. You will see the link to the Femgineering event in the comments. And the Femgineering event happens at no cost to you. If you join one of our engineering days, it will cost you something to attend. But if you attend the Femgineering event, it is completely free of charge. And the first 200 girls who register will also receive a fully loaded goodie bag. The last time I checked, we had about 30 girls who registered to date. So there's still ample opportunity for you to register and to get a goodie bag. So tell your friends, even ones who are not involved in the Femgineering, in the Modiragatsi competition, tell them about the Femgineering event, invite them to join us. That will happen every afternoon after school, that you will have an online event. You will also get data to attend that with us if you need some. So please do not be afraid to ask to attend. So just to register on the link, and we would love to have you involved in the Femgineering event. You will be taking part in some live hands-on projects. You will also listen to a number of engineering females working all across the industry that studied with the NWU Faculty of Engineering. And we will also listen to some of our staff at the faculty telling you what you can expect when studying in each of the schools in the Faculty of Engineering. So we've had some questions in previous days about which are the programs that we are presenting at the Faculty of Engineering. So all of those 7 programs you can come and experience on the afternoons at the Femgineering event. So please, please go and register, invite your friends, bring them with you, and we would love to continue this relationship that we've started with you in the coming months. Remember also that the winners of this year's Modiragatsi competition will be announced during the Femgineering event. The announcement will take place on Monday, the 9th of August, which is Women's Day, and that will be a morning event since that Monday morning there will be no school. So go on and register if you haven't done so already. Also remember that we have an opportunity for you if you missed out on the opportunity at the end of your grade 12 year that you didn't adhere to the requirements to study engineering, then we have an Excel program that you can also follow to rewrite matric in science and mathematics, and natural science and mathematics, in order to help you gain entrance into engineering. I will be posting a link to that in the comments as well, so that you can read about the requirements. You will see that the price of redoing matric through the Excel program is quite steep, but we have bursaries available. So do not let the costs deter you from trying to get into the program and completing, redoing matric with maths and science at the right level, and also doing some of your engineering subjects in the meantime. We have that available for you, and the bursaries will cover would be enough to cover both your class fees and accommodation fees. So please, if you have a problem with your matric results and you want to follow that program, look at the brochure that I'll be sending to you. Okay, Tegan asked whether the top 25 teams still need to register for the Femgineering event. Yes, please, because that's the list I'll be using to send you a goodie bag. So, regardless of whether you have now registered here, please just go and complete the registration form there as well. I'm worried that I might not send you a goodie bag, even though you're a top 25 entrant. So, um, please just or finalists. So please go and register regardless of whether we have announced the top 25 yet. And like I said, bring some friends with you. We'll be doing some fun activities as well that's not engineering related. This year's theme is See You Be Brave. So we'll also be having online self-defense courses. So please join us online for the Femgineering event. And all of you who participated in the Modiragatsi competition are welcome to go and register for that as well. So don't think that since you're in this program, you can't go and register there. Please go and register regardless. We have a question about can you register for the Femgineering event even if you're not interested in engineering? Yes, sure, you can register. I think it will still be interesting. And I always tell people that regardless of whether you end up studying engineering after joining us for the Femgineering event, um, at least you will one day, if you work with an engineer, appreciate more of the intricacies of our jobs. So maybe you go into finance and you're the ones having to make the decisions about the projects that we want to do. Or maybe you go into law and you need to defend one of us um, in a case. Then it is always good to have a better understanding of what it is that engineers do, how we think about the world, and how we experience things. So even if you're not interested in engineering, please go and come and attend, register and come and attend. I think we have at least two students currently, one of them, Carla van Dijk, who is one of your group admins, specifically told me at the engineering event that she's there under protest. And she will not be studying engineering. And now she's a first year student in engineering. She's studying industrial engineering at the moment. And then I also can think about Berlie Ruet, who definitely said she was the previous winner, along with Carly Swart, of the Modiragatsi competition. At the time that we spent some time in San Francisco for the prize winners trip to San Francisco and the Bay Area for the tech tour, she also told me she's definitely not interested in engineering. She will definitely be going into finance, and she will definitely follow in her parents' footsteps. And she also is now a student in engineering at our faculty. So what you learn might surprise you, and you might learn that many of the preconceptions that you have about engineering are actually not true. And I think that's the whole reason why we host the Femgineering event, is that you can see that it is not a dirty job, as many people think. It's definitely not a job only suitable to men. It's definitely not a boring job. I've never done the same job twice, 2 days in a row. Every single day is different. Every day comes with a lot of surprises. It is a career that really relies on me being very creative and applying my mind on a daily basis. So I love being an engineer. And I must tell you that when I started studying engineering, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do now. I really think I have the best job in the world, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So come and attend and at least listen. And if your mind is still not changed by the time that you leave the event, then that is also fine. Um, Engineering is not for everyone, but you won't know whether it's for you unless you um, get more exposure to it, unless you meet more people that work in very diverse settings at companies, ranging from from the mines and big industries and uh, processing plants to me, people like me working in medical device development. There's a lot of our students working in software development. I mentioned yesterday that when we visited the USA last year or 2 years ago for the prize winners trip, we visited some of our friends who studied with me, and one of my students that completed his final year with me, who at the works at places like Google and Facebook. So that's places where engineers work. Last year's speaker, Johanna Schnettler, she works at the NASDAQ. That is a um, very financially orientated sector. We have a lot of students that complete at our university in engineering that work in banks, also in the financial sector. Then there's a lot of bursary opportunities available in the cosmetics sector for chemical engineers, for instance. So yeah, it's definitely not a limiting career choice. It is definitely something that offers ample opportunities for you to get a job, and it is also a place where females are in huge demand. So it's definitely something to consider. Yes, you said that you would love an expo to see what all the opportunities are in engineering because you love it as a whole. That is the whole point of the engineering event. Usually, when we host it at the Faculty of Engineering in Potch, we have students join us physically on campus, but due to COVID, we're doing it remotely. It is also open to students outside the borders of South Africa. So if you want to join us from one of our neighboring countries, that's also a possibility for you. And it is like an expo, but an online expo. So you can ask questions in the live sessions each day. You can ask an engineer a question directly, and they will answer it for you. So yeah, it's almost like an expo, just slightly better because it's not so crowded, and you still get the goodie bag that you would usually get at an expo. Okay, Tegan asks whether what will happen if COVID-19 is still around in June next year, June 2022, when we're planning the trip abroad. Then, well, the 2021 with the 2020 trip was postponed to 2021. That is why the 2020 group of finalists are now in the training program with you. So this year, we will in any case announce both the 2020 and the 2021 winners at the Fin Engineering event. But if we see by the end of or by March next year, that it will definitely not be able to, we will definitely not be able to travel, then we will replace the trip with another big prize. So it would likely be something like a computer and a 3D printer or something like that, but it will still be a very big, worthwhile prize that you wouldn't win otherwise if you weren't entered into the competition. But at this stage, we're really hoping that we can still take you on the trip. And as the vaccination rollout begins or really picks up pace, I really think that it will be possible for you to, for us all to travel. I have family living in Europe, and they are traveling between countries already. I have a lot of friends in the USA who are also traveling again. So I'm confident that we'll be able to travel again. I'm getting my vaccination tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. So I am confident that the prize will be a trip abroad. But if it is not a trip abroad, I promise you that it will still be a worthwhile, nice, big technology prize. You should receive your goodie bags real soon. It will be dependent on the couriers. Everything is quite disrupted at this stage because of looting in parts of our country. So I think some of the couriers are also afraid to travel with parcels and having them stolen. But I promise you, you will receive them real soon. Um, yeah, so keep your eyes peeled on the road. Okay, but you see, we asked if you haven't submitted 1.1 to 1.6 of the activities today, what will happen tomorrow? Then tomorrow you will have to submit 1.1 to 1.6 and the computational thinking puzzle answers. So nothing bad will happen. It's not like a phase in the competition that ends. It is just this topic that we're stepping off. So we will be moving on from design thinking to computational thinking. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we'll be playing this board game tomorrow. So yes, nothing will happen. The entries will keep all of the activity assignments will accept late submissions all the way up to the 25th, which is next week Sunday when the final submission is due. So as long as you keep to that submission date, the final submission date, nothing will happen if you submit late. So please just submit whatever you've been working on. The main thing is participating and learning from the experience. So we won't penalize you if you submit something late. So the only thing that happens if you fall behind is that you'll have more work the next day to do. It's just like homework at school. If you don't do everything today, tomorrow you have to do today's work and tomorrow's work. Okay, Tegan asks, so what if you didn't have the resources or materials to make the prototype of the idea you had most or you liked most? Could you make a prototype of another idea? Yes, absolutely. The aim is for you to learn from the prototyping experience and use it to learn whether your idea is a good idea and to get feedback from users. But if you can do it in another way, that's absolutely fine. You can also just have a discussion with someone about your idea. The prototype just makes it a lot easier for you to explain to people what it is that you're trying to do instead of just using words, because a picture or a thing you can touch can definitely say a lot more than you in a word. So that's the main idea, is that you just share your ideas in a way that is more tangible, that people understand things a lot better. One of our students, for instance, are developing a shooting coach, and I thought it would be like a computer program, something that gives you uh, a lot of information. And then once she built a prototype, I saw it was a little device that would fit onto a gun, and then it made a whole lot more sense to me as someone who read all of the material beforehand. So that prototype really goes a long way. I've learned from using prototyping in the past that if I specifically do it for a mobile app that I would like to use, and I cut out a page and make sure that it is the size of my screen, and I try and press the buttons as I would if I were using the app, then I can see when a button is in in an uncomfortable space. I learn a lot in terms of how much back and forth I need to do. I realize how many times I ask unnecessary questions that I don't really need the answers to. So those are the things you use prototyping for, is to verify that the things that you're planning on doing is really necessary and that it will accomplish an aim that you are aiming for. That I would share. Yes, I promised to you that I would share some of the photos of our trip with the previous winners of the Modiragatsi competition to keep you motivated. So this is the group of us that went, myself and Sanay Rens, who was a lecturer at the School of Electrical and Electronic and Computer Engineering with me, the two girls and their dear teacher. Unfortunately, we lost Mrs. Corin de Beer earlier this year as a result of COVID-related complications. That was very, very sad. She was one of our biggest um, enthusiasts of both the engineering and Modiragatsi events. So it is very sad to lose a teacher like that. She was a phenomenal science teacher. But here we are at the airport, traveling to firstly to Dubai. Um, It was the first time that both Carly and Barley traveled abroad. This is the night we stayed over in Dubai, and you can see it was 1 o'clock in the morning and it was 35 degrees centigrade. So it was very, very, very hot. It was not warm, it was hot. We then flew over the North Pole towards San Francisco. That was also very exciting for me. It was the first time I flew across the North Pole. We saw some snow. And when we got to San Francisco, it was really, really cold. So we went through a bunch of extremes in the travel period. San Francisco is a lovely city. It is full of artworks like this. This is the oldest bakery in San Francisco. They bake sourdough bread, and you smell it from kilometers away. And they serve their soup in bowls that are made of bread. We visited some very interesting places, like some of the world's most interesting and diverse aquariums. We saw animals that we didn't even think could exist. There is the famous painted ladies. You might have seen these buildings in a number of films. There we are at the Golden Gate Bridge. You see it's very, very windy. It is always cold in San Francisco. We were there in summertime, and if you look at the way we dressed, you definitely not think we're there during summertime. We also went to visit some interesting universities. While we were there, here we are at Berkeley, which is a university that you hear a lot from in the USA. We took the girls to attend a live programming class. We visited the Exploratorium in San Francisco, which is a very interesting place. We also went to a baseball game at Oracle Park. And San Francisco is a very, it's not a very flat area to visit. It was built on a number of hills. So you're always walking either uphill or downhill while you are there. I will continue with some of these photos just now, but let me first see whether there's any questions now. Now asks, what courses do the university offer? And that will definitely depend on whether you're referring to engineering specifically or the entire university. So now if you can maybe comment for me in the comment line again and just tell me, are you referring to the university in general, or are you referring to the Faculty of Engineering? In the Faculty of Engineering, in the meantime, I can tell you that you can study a number of four-year bachelor's degrees in engineering, computer and electronic engineering, chemical engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, mechatronic engineering, and electromechanical engineering. So there's 7-degree programs in the Faculty of Engineering, and each of them will be featured during the FEngineering event. But in the greater university, we have 8 faculties. So there's a lot more programs than just the 7 in engineering that you can find. Okay, Nadia, I see you referred to the entire university, so that is quite a big ask. So I'm going to refer you to our web page, www.nwu.ac.za. We will post a link in the comments as well. But yes, like I mentioned, there's 8 faculties in the university. So that includes the Faculty of Education, where we typically train all of the various different types of teachers. It's a very good faculty. Then we also have the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences. So that is the faculty where courses in accounting and financial accounting, economics, international trade, entrepreneurship, uh, tourism. Those are the ones I can think of now. That's where those courses are typically hosted. Then we also have the Faculty of Health Sciences. And in the Faculty of Health Sciences, there's a bunch of different degree programs, including psychology and physiology, uh, human movement sciences, recreation science and psychology, sport and recreation. There is pharmacy, consumer studies. We also have a very good school of nursing. The Bachelor of Social Work is also hosted within the Faculty of Health Sciences, in, including dietetics. Um, so where all the nutritionists study. Then we also have a degree in occupational hygiene, and then also in biokinetics. I might be leaving out some of them. In the Faculty of Humanities, there's a lot of degree programs, again, including some programs in public governance, social sciences, communication, graphic design, languages and literary studies, then also music and the arts. Then there's also a degree program in behavioral science. In the Faculty of Law, that is typically where all of the lawyers get trained. So there they have a BCom, a commerce in law, or a bachelor of laws. In the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, that is where you can study things like animal health, animal science, plant science, chemistry and mathematics, computer science, statistics, environmental sciences, financial mathematics, um, risk management, business analytics, actuarial sciences, urban and regional planning, agriculture, and a bunch of other degree programs. And then we also have the Faculty of Theology. That's the 8th faculty that I haven't mentioned yet. And there you can study in towards a degree in ancient languages, um, pastoral psychology, divinity, theology, and then also Christian ministry. And yes, so I've now mentioned a few of the degree programs. It's by no means an exhaustive list. So please visit the website, nwu.ac.za, click on study at the NWU, and under study at the NWU, click on undergraduate studies, and you'll be able to see a full list of all of the qualifications we offer. Well, Bob, Lou, it's nice to see you again. It wouldn't be a a daily check-in if I don't have a Pabalo question. I definitely think that's a reason why Pabalo will be our first winner, because Pabalo have asked a question at every single daily check-in. So Pabalo, there's a pair of socks coming your way. Thank you. You're making me feel like someone is listening to me out there. So your question was what mechatronic engineering entail. And I can't give away all of the secrets at the Modiragatsi competition. So, Pabalo, register for the Femgineering event so that you can ask me at the Femgineering event what mechatronic engineering entails. It's a really fun qualification. On our website, there's a lot of videos, and one of the videos will be on mechatronic engineering. So if you want to go and get a sneak peek, go there. Otherwise, attend the Femgineering event and we'll tell you all about mechatronic engineering. Okay, everyone, we're getting close to the 1 hour mark now. So I'm giving you the 5 minute heads up that if I get more questions in the next 5 minutes, I will still answer them. Otherwise, you will have to either ask your questions on the WhatsApp group or ask them on tomorrow's daily check-in. Okay, we have one question on the WhatsApp group about how do you answer activity 1.6 in essay form, or do you answer each question individually? I think you should typically do this in essay format, but use the questions. You can have the question and the answer together. It's just to help you keep track because we will now be breaking away to new themes after this, so that when you need to pick this up again when pitching your idea next week during the how to start a business section, that you will have that information available. So that's one document where you keep all of your answers together and just organize your thoughts at this point in time after all of the exercises that you've done so far. Okay, so we've reached the end of today's live check-in. Thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to tomorrow. I really feed off your excitement and the energy that you are sharing with all of us. I know some of you, especially those in either Gauteng or KZN, are experiencing tough times during this time. So use this competition to stay positive and remember that you are not alone. We are thinking about you. We're keeping you in our prayers, and we hope that this competition will keep you positive and remind you that there is a life after whatever is happening now, and that we can change the world together. So have a good evening. See you tomorrow morning with your daily to-do list. I hope you enjoy the puzzles that you're completing tomorrow. If you are still completing some of the other exercises, I hope you enjoy doing those as well. And I'll see you for the daily check-in tomorrow afternoon.